Hi, everybody. It's Sarah Scott Putnam or Scotty here, and I'm just checking in again to see how everybody's doing. And as you know, we continue to navigate the ebb and flow of all that's going on around us. And so it's so interesting to be in this time and place to leave behind the way things have been done. And hopefully, we're ushering in a new way of being and a new way of showing up in the world but right now we're kind of in that great pause, and the cool thing is we're all in the same place together, and it's a perfect time to get real about what we really want. And so wow, what a time. The other message that I want to put out there is don't do this on your own. I know there have been many people that have reached out that are alone or feel isolated or disconnected from everybody. But there are so many resources out there. There's so many things that are being offered up. And with this new modern technology, as isolated as we also are extremely connected. And so just know that you're loved and supported and to reach out. The next thing I want to say that I'm doing this video because I did a video last week, and I'm hoping this video will be a little bit shorter, but I am going to go into some of the topics that I talked about there. I've had people asking me different terminology or different questions around what I was talking about. And so today, the one most specific is the domain of the soul. It's like, what is the domain of the soul? So let me explain that to you, and I'll go into how we know we're in it, how do we get into that space, and what is the purpose of going there. Okay. And so the domain of the soul. Domain of the soul is that innermost connection that we have with ourselves. It is that pure part of who we came into this world to be before all the conditioning of society happened. It is that essence of who we are. And for me, it resides in the heart space. It is where the voice of the soul talks to me. And it is so intimate and personal to each of us. And so how do we get there? We get there through quietness. We get there through prayer. We get there through meditation. And it's easier than it seems. I know oftentimes we have that monkey chatter or mantra going on in our head, but the goal is to drop down to stop the monkey chatter, drop down into the deepest part of who we are. Breathe in. And as we exhale, releasing it even further. And where can we do this? You can do it right now in the sanctuary of your own home, because most of us, that's where we are, to create a space that may be intentional. For me, right now, I'm on this beautiful sofa. I love that the sunlight comes in and it's quiet here. So I can hear the bird song outside, and it's just a perfect place for me. The ultimate for me is being out in nature. When I can get out into nature, it is an immediate connection. I can take just 2 or 3 breaths and I'm there. And the reason being is that is our natural state of being. We're returning home when we step out into nature. So try it. There's so many that have become disconnected from nature, where we get into the busy rat race of this world, but this is the perfect time again to be reintroduced to it. When we are able to step out into nature, for me, it's taking my shoes off and feeling the bare feet against the ground, and feeling Mother Nature's energy, her Mother Earth's beautiful energy pulsing us. She literally has a heartbeat. Schumann's wave 7.8 is pulsing us and helping us remember. And so get out in nature, take your shoes off, listen to the bird song around you, sit amongst the trees and hear the wind as it rustles through the treetops. Listen to the messages, and then sink in to the domain of the soul. So there are many ways to get there. The more that we do it intentionally, the easier it is to go into that space when we need to. If we feel off, if we feel out of body, and we just need to come back in. If you work with me, you know that I talk about this to get from this space to this space. You just tap the heart space. Just the reason that works is because we're tactile beings, and we can't be in two places at one time. It's sort of like, if you go like this and you tap your wrist, you know that that is wrist, it's pulse, and that's your connection. If you hit the knee, you know that's reflexes, and same principle. If you hit the heart space, ooh, it takes us down into the heart. And this is where the domain of the soul resides. So, how do we know when we're there? There are several different ways. The first one is that fear, anxiety, and the need to control kind of dissipate. It falls away. If only for a moment, if you can reach that space and for a moment you're in clarity and you're not worried or you're not fearful or you're not in a place of control, you've reached it. That's your point of entry. And so the more that, again, that you practice it and you're in it, the more that you will expand that time of being in a place of no fear, no anxiety, and in a place of peace. So, what is the next way? The next way is the synchronicities that tend to happen when we tap into the domain of the soul. We at some point are going to realize that we're in a field a lot bigger than ours. We're in a field of consciousness that is pure, that is creative, that is God, that is great spirit, that is source. It's whatever you want to call this beautiful mystery that is pulsing us and reminding us that we do belong and that we are all connected. So when you're in that place, the next thing that happens is the synchronicities. The synchronicities start to line up. You may think of someone and they call or they send you a note or they text. You may have a vision or a dream and all of a sudden you see it come to fruition. Or let's say after all of this is done and you want to go on a trip to Europe and you start dreaming about going to Switzerland or wherever your dream is, and you start thinking of it, and all of a sudden you start hearing references of Switzerland, or someone gives you information around Switzerland, or you find a book around Switzerland, or you see it on the TV, Switzerland, whatever. But when we start getting into those synchronicities, that is the ultimate energy syncing up together to let us know that we are a part of the creation process. And so it's a powerful place to be. So, and then the next place to be is that when we do understand that we are a creator, that we came in with our own unique gifts, they are definitely our signature. And it's by divine design. It's done so that we can add our gifts to the collective whole. And when we add our gifts, our co-creative gifts to the collective whole, we actually add to the diversity of who we all are. And it's amazing. Oftentimes we see people competing, thinking, oh, wow, look what they're doing, or look what this person's doing, and I wish I could do it this way, or they critique the way somebody's doing something. That's not what we're called to do. We are called to tap into our own resources, our own gifts, and add them to the diversity of the collective whole. A great example is a musician. We see one musician that plays and sings and creates one way, and it's amazing. And then another one comes along and they create another way. They're not taking away from each other. They're actually adding and showing us we get to express ourselves. We get to express, or divine gets to express through us in our own unique ways. It may be that you are talented in woodworking, and so you offer up, let's say, making guitars or mandolins, or you offer up building a home, or you offer up building a fence or a rock wall. Whatever your gifts are, that's what we're called to co-create. So when we're in the domain of the soul, when we're anchored in and we're being mindful and we're listening, it's from this place that we tap in to our creative. It's from this place that we understand that we do belong to a bigger picture, and that as isolated and separate as we may feel right now, we are actually so, so, so very connected. We are in the process of becoming more mindful, becoming more heartfelt, becoming more creative, becoming more a part of the whole of who we are. So each day is a new experience. Sometimes it doesn't feel so good, but that's part of the process. Sometimes it feels expansive and, oh my gosh, mountaintop experience. That's part of the process. So as we go through, walk into it day by day as we step and create this new world being. But the first place to start is here. Go into this domain of the soul, have fun with it, ask it questions. And even if you give yourself permission to pretend that you are hearing the answers, trust it, write it down. The automatic writing, write down what you're getting. That's how songs are created. That's how beautiful paintings are created. That's how um, sessions are done when someone's going in and working with you from a level of divinity. That's how it's happening. It's happening through that process of trusting what's coming in, trusting the information, trusting the messages, and then putting action behind it. And so with that, I say go into the domain of the soul, know how precious you are, and know that you are not alone, that we're walking this path together. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can give me a direct message in my inbox, or if it's something that you believe is more broader and that everyone can benefit by, please by all means put it below this tape, this video, and I'll be back. And if there's a certain topic you want to go deeper into, please do. And with that, I say have a beautiful day. Reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your community, reach out to the domain of the soul, and I'll see you there.